Hello and welcome to step 3 in our practice of accepting who we are. And this is part of our self-acceptance challenge. So in step 1, we started to expand the way in which we regard ourselves. So really opening up to all the different aspects of our personality. Then in step 2, we looked at how we might start to integrate, in particular, those parts of ourselves that we had closed off, that we had rejected. And we looked at ways that we can integrate them back, but also how we can regulate some of those more problematic aspects of ourselves. And now finally, in step 3 today, what we are going to explore in this short practice is how we can start to regard ourselves as a whole. So really expanding our view, zooming out and viewing ourselves not as these subparts, but as a whole again. So inviting you now just to get into a comfortable posture. It's possible to do this practice sitting down in a chair or cross-legged on the floor, or you might find that you would prefer to lie down. So just checking in with yourself, what posture feels right for you today. And I'll give you a moment to get settled. If you're sitting in a chair, sitting with your feet flat on the ground and your legs uncrossed. If you're cross-legged on the floor, just getting comfortable, perhaps supporting your lower back. And if you're lying down with your feet about hip-width distance apart, the feet falling outwards and the arms by the sides. And you can close the eyes now or lower the gaze to the floor and soften the gaze. So choosing, if you wish, to close the eyes, and if not, just softening the gaze. And just allowing yourself to land, to arrive in this moment. So starting this practice just by bringing the awareness to the feet on the floor if you're sitting or cross-legged. Sensing into those points of contact and the sensations of the contact. And if you're lying, tuning in to perhaps where you notice the body makes contact with the ground. Feeling the weight going down. And if it's comfortable for you today, inviting you to narrow the focus and just connect with the rise and fall of the breath in the body, connecting with those physical sensations of the breath and the movement of the breath. If the breath's not a comfortable place, just staying with the feet on the floor and those contact points. If you notice you have a busy mind, that's no big deal. It's perfectly natural. As soon as you notice the mind has wandered off, this awareness gives you a choice. You can choose to engage in the thought, or you can choose to come back and focus your mind and your attention on the breath or the feet on the floor. As best you can, staying with those sensations. Noticing sensations with curiosity and interest. And now inviting you to start to get a sense of your whole self. We can start on a physical level, so getting a sense of the body sitting or lying here. Perhaps the shape of the body, getting a sense of the space the body's taking up. Tuning in to subtle movements and sensations throughout the body. As best you can. Exploring with interest and friendliness. And as we get this sense of our whole physical body, seeing now if you can get a sense of all these aspects of yourself, all these aspects that we explored in step 1 and step 2 of this practice. We were using archetypes to help us connect with those different elements of our personality. So the inner child, the wise child, the angry child, the selfish child, the voice of wisdom, the voice of spirituality or your inner Buddha, the great mother, the critic, the pusher, the protector. Inviting and welcoming all those aspects of your personality, all the members of your committee. Holding them in a friendly, accepting awareness as best you can. integrating each and every aspect into your being. And now inviting you to zoom out a bit as we acknowledge all the different aspects of ourselves, also taking a moment to acknowledge our whole self. All these elements are part of a whole. And you are abiding as the whole of who you are, not just individual aspects. You are what you are, and you're fine as your whole self. There may be many aspects, and as we acknowledge, some even may be problematic and need regulating. But as a whole, you're perfectly fine. How is it to zoom out and view yourself as a whole, while still acknowledging these different aspects of yourself? What is it like to be whole? Staying with this for a moment, regarding yourself as a whole. Knowing even though some aspects might be problematic, we welcome them and we acknowledge as a whole, we're okay, we're fine. Now inviting you to come back to the breath and connecting with the physical sensations and the movement of the breath, or could come back to the feet on the floor, connecting with an anchor point, narrowing your focus. And as you focus on this anchor, whether it's the breath, the feet on the floor, can you also get a sense of the whole body seated here or lying here? Getting a sense of this whole physical experience. Now inviting you to get a sense of the room around you, perhaps wiggling your fingers and toes. And slowly bringing this practice to a close. I'm going to ring the bell now. And when the bell stops, slowly opening the eyes if you had them closed. This is the end of the meditation.